everyone. Thank you so much for joining us once again right here at 023. My name is Moya Molodo and I am your host for today. And as usual, we have a very exciting episode that we've got and a really great topic that we do want to discuss with our guests that are here today. So let's just get into what the topic is for the day. Because we know that freelancers and creators really do face a whole lot of different challenges, and one of those big challenges are how to do finances in business as well as their personal lifestyle, and how to actually just separate those, and how to budget for projects, saving monthly to invest in equipment, making your first hire. So all of those kind of things that actually come with finances as a freelancer can be a real challenge. And the guests that we have here today, they will actually, be discussing exactly how they actually go about those challenges. So we've got Muofhe, and he is the founder of Astropark Studios, and it is a media production company that engages brands and the audiences through visual storytelling. We'll get into that in just a bit. And we also are joined by Jeremiah Fethe, and he is in marketing as a 9 to 5, summer in the 9 to 5 finally, but in his free time he is a cinematographer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I am very interested in what you guys do. Just a little bit about, we'll start with you, of course, Christian, what Astropark does, and how did you get into that?
Okay, so Astropark, as you said, is a media production company. In short, that creates visual content for brands, businesses, and advertisements for social media advertising at the moment. I think how it came about. I guess I studied in writing and directing for film,
sure.
And straight after that, I thought the best way to go, where I can still fulfill that passion of writing and directing stories in in the working world, is advertising.
Yeah.
So I went straight there, and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love that. Jeremiah, how did you get into? So you're in marketing 9 to 5.
Correct.
And you're, do I call it a side hustle, or you're freelancing? You are in cinematography, right? So tell us more about what you do, and also how you got into that.
So how did I get into cinematography?
Yeah.
I think it's quite a long story. I'm trying to make it short.
It's okay.
So I started writing letters. I was going through a period of time where I was writing just letters for myself, and then I just thought maybe let me transfer it into videos and start telling stories.
Nice.
So I did a few courses, just storytelling and stuff, and then eventually that led into business, where I get to tell people's story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Wait, so these letters that you were writing, I know we're going to get into the topic, I'm just here for these letters. These letters that you were writing, was it like just for yourself, or was it like stories about yourself, or was it like, what was it? What are these letters?
It was about depression, actually.
Oh, hectic.
So I thought of starting to make short films about stories. Yeah.
Love that. I really do like that.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the topic of the day. So personal finances, business finances. I think as freelancers, sometimes there's a literal blur in that. So after you are paid by like a client, how do you then decide what is for business and what is for you? How do you separate that? Because that's a struggle.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, yeah. Look, okay. Well, I guess before I start, with my situation, I don't like the term freelancer.
Okay.
I
you
guess
can use whichever one you're comfortable with.
But yeah, I guess when you work in with clients and money's coming in, whatever, it's important to have different accounts. And that's why I say I guess the term freelancer would mean it's me and with a camera, and I'm going out and I'm shooting this and that. But in I guess my particular situation, it's the business and then there's me.
Yes.
And what's always got to come first is the business. Because otherwise, then I'm against the business. If more is coming to me than it should be. So, what I do is, once income has come in for the month, I pay myself probably like 15-20%, and then the rest stays in the company. If I don't have a lot of work that month, I don't get paid, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And then you move on, and then as you go along, your salary increases or decreases every single month. So there is no fixed salary.
Yeah.
So if somebody asked how much do you earn a month, I can't say I earn what I earn that month because of what I did. So yeah, it's always like that. 80% to the business and 20% to me.
All right, Jeremiah, how do you?
I think for me it's quite different because I have a 9 to 5.
Yeah, you're solid.
Exactly.
Not exactly. So for me, I like to think of, also I don't agree with the term of freelancer.
Yeah.
So for me, I think of a business as a child and just me being a parent.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know? So that's how I treat my business. I try to prioritize it. It's much easier for me because I have a 9 to 5. So what I usually do with my salary from the 9 to 5, I get to juice up on my personal business, like buying equipment and just improving my quality as to what I deliver to a client as well. So I'll say it's not easier for me.
Okay. All right. And I was in fact going to ask you how do you pay yourself a salary, but
Well, I guess
I mean you answered that, of course.
Yeah.
Like you 80% goes to business and then 20%.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of also, sometimes you might actually need to change your lifestyle because you can't keep up with it if you have a business. Or if you started a company, do you know what I mean? If you used to live, every Saturday you go out and, you like buying new things for yourself and you like, buying clothes and looking at some of that stuff has to go, like otherwise, like you said, you can't not feed your child. You can't just, if you have a kid now, you got to make sure that the kid comes first and you starve.
Yeah.
Because one day maybe that kid might have you back.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
of course. It's an investment plan. Kids are investment plans.
I think just to add to what Christian has said as well, totally agree with him. And then from the other perspective where we can look at it is perhaps not getting things that are personal to you, but you can like feed yourself with things that will improve rather your business.
Yeah.
Like so maybe you get a course where you try to improve your strategies or just your business overall, your skills and stuff.
Because that's another very important thing.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle should actually be somewhat of an improvement to your business.
To the business.
In some way, or another. Like as I say, obviously with your situation, you work in 9 to 5 and then you have the business as well. In my situation, not every day is 9 to 5. Some days are 10 to 12. Do you know what I mean? And then with that extra time, you can go and do something progressive to the business and yourself and just generally the overall mission.
Okay, I like that. So then when it comes to saving money, because obviously we all want to save money towards whatever that we want, whether it's emergencies or whether just for a holiday maybe. But like, how do you save money for yourself and for the business, or are they both linked or are they separate?
It's an interesting one. So I guess I don't necessarily, I don't save for myself as much as I do. I think if anything, it's always like saving and growing capital for the business. And then like with my cash, like the cash that comes in for me is all just for spending. Okay, cool, whatever. Whatever I need to spend on groceries or, petrol, what. Like
your bills.
And maybe, I think it would be actually really good to have, I guess, a secondary saving for myself as well.
But your business surely does.
Yeah, the business does. I mean, and there's two accounts, actually, because you have the capital and then you have your savings for damages and any contingency. And then there's you. But I think if I had to say, it would be good to have a savings for yourself as well, because at the end of the day, you still have to also take
that
care.
happens.
Yeah.
Jeremiah?
I think just to add to what Christian has said, I think this is my personal perspective.
Sure.
I think another sort of saving for me is like insurance for your equipment, actually. So you have those where like the money goes there every month where you just insure your equipment and stuff.
Okay, I like that. Because like insurance, in as much as we don't like paying, I don't like paying insurance. I hate paying insurance, but I do pay insurance.
But things happen.
Things happen, and I don't want things to happen.
And
I'm not
prepared.
Exactly. So then, at what point in time did you find yourself stranded as a company due to a lack of funds? Of not saving enough for the business, or you just did not have enough capital? Where you're just like, okay, it's dry season in terms of my money for my business. And how'd you come up with that? If you've had.
Okay, I think, as I said, we've been here for a year and a half at Astropark, so actually we haven't had like that stage where things are so bad that you can't actually go forward. Maybe at the beginning, maybe I can say like at the very start, because we didn't invest in any equipment or anything.
Mhm.
Going straight into it, it was just me and a notebook. And what I did a lot of the times, and what I still do now, all the equipment that we use for any shoot is budgeted with the client and
Yeah.
hired
Mhm.
equipment. So I don't think it can be an excuse for anybody, you know, at a point where you don't have any capital or funds. If you
Mhm.
want to start a business or whatever it is, there's always a way. And I think I've found that in how I've gone about, you know, working with clients. Literally, you go into a company and they'll say, "Hey, we want to do a photo shoot with the, you know, with the CEO and this and this and that."
Yeah.
And you go, "Cool. Well, I'll send you the budget and you let me know." And then on that budget, you put the camera, lights, everything
Exactly.
you'll need, and companies will cover it. That's the thing. Companies will cover it. Well, some won't, fine, but there are those who will.
Yeah.
And I guess you just have to find clientele who will, I guess, who are prepared to have you on board.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't think I've had a situation where I couldn't go forward because of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, ever been stranded, money-wise?
Money-wise,
Yeah.
no.
Lack of funds for your company, for your equipment.
I think starting, like Christian has said, starting is always tough,
Yeah.
you know, because you want to start, obviously compete with those who have been there already.
Yeah.
And those who have been there almost have the best equipment that one can dream, you know.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I was quite privileged. I had a deal with a friend where I asked him to get me a camera, like a very expensive camera.
Okay.
Because as a DJ, I told him in return, I'll be covering your gigs. For free.
Nice. I mean,
So that's
collaboration.
Like yeah, so I was quite privileged with that. So money-wise, not really.
I guess that's the thing. I mean, you know, when people think of starting a business, you always think, okay, but then I need investors.
Yeah.
Or I need
I need $1 million.
capital.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not the same for all businesses. I'm not sitting here saying, you know, you can go and start any business you want with 0 rand,
Yeah.
because it's not the truth. But in this instance, I mean, for a media production company, you really don't need much. As I said, I still don't own a camera. But
Which you outsource.
we use the best cameras there are
Nice.
in every single, you know, the work that we do.
Yeah.
We use the best cameras because those are the clients that we have. They want the best work, so you know it's all about just what you're selling to them. You know, if you want work that's 4K, 8K quality, that's cool. We can do that. This is the cost, and then you go ahead.
All right. Okay, so we're just going to hold it there just for a little bit. We're just going to go to a quick ad break and we'll be back.
And sponsored by Moya, a startup that provides a smart money manager that helps freelancers make sense of their numbers and reach their financial goals by providing a mobile app which assists freelancers manage their cash flow, invoices, and tax all in one place. Moya is running some exciting initiatives and campaigns over the next couple of weeks. Moya and Seam Coffee have partnered up to bring you Coffee and Convos, a networking event for freelancers at Seam Coffee in Fourways on the 11th of June. Register now using the link in the description to book your spot. See you guys there. And don't forget to subscribe to Moya's weekly newsletter, Moya Mondays, for weekly tips and news about the world of freelancing. This podcast is brought to you by Moya, your guide to successful freelancing.
Welcome back from the ad break. Thank you so much for joining us again. We just want to thank our sponsors, Moya Money, that is really running some great initiatives and campaigns. We've got an exciting free workshop for you guys, and that is in partnership with the Business School Lecture that is here to help you to discuss growth and cash flow management, and more details on that will definitely be coming up, and you'll just see all the details on the description box, as well as free coffee. I would love some free coffee. I'm having water here, but I'd love some free coffee and a co-working space for the day at Seam Coffee in Fourways until the end of May. So all of those details you will find in the description box. So we still got our guests right here, Christian and Jeremiah, and we're still discussing on the topic of business finances as well as your own personal lifestyle finances. So right, let's get back into it. So then, I know you I think both of you kind of touched on this just a little bit, but I just wanted to know, right, as you're growing, as your business is growing, and it obviously needs more equipment, right? And I guess in your end, it might not be like equipment like cameras and stuff, but like other things that you might need. How do you then decide what to invest in your business?
Okay. So I think when you're starting out, especially year and a half, 2 years in, the best thing that you can do is find somebody who's been there for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
Because they'll help you avoid mistakes that you could otherwise make. So how I decide is I ask somebody. I ask somebody who's been in it for a lot longer than me, what he believes I would need. There's someone I'm thinking of now.
Yeah.
Of course, and I think it's always best to go and get advice in that instance, because you may think you know, and it's great to go on YouTube and on online, but it's always better to have a physical person that you can actually go and speak to. If you can't, as I say, there are mentors on YouTube as well, people who do this thing where they they're giving advice on how to start and what you'd need and whatever. Look, it's not the worst thing in the world, but as I say, I'd always advise finding someone who's in the business.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's how you actually decide on
and that's how I decide what's next.
What you need for your business.
So obviously at the moment, getting lights, maybe rigs as well. Certain stuff that I don't necessarily want to hire because I'm kind of just losing out on money if I'm doing that. Those are the first pieces of equipment that this person told me to go and get, because he said, a camera, you can get cameras, you need different cameras all the time.
Yeah.
But having a rig, you can always use that, like a Ronin or a shoulder rig, whatever it is. But go and find someone who's been doing it for longer than 10 years.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I agree with Christian. When I wanted to get my first camera, I had a mentor.
Yeah.
That I usually shoot short films with. So I was like, I want to get a Mark III. So he was like, why do you want to get that camera? And then he was like, why don't you get the RP? Just came out, the mirrorless one. Why? But it's expensive. It's like 30K just for the body.
Yeah.
I was like, still, it's like it's the most recent camera that they're making now. I'm like, oh, okay. So not having like someone just to lead you and direct you, I would have probably just bought a very old camera just for the sake of starting.
No, exactly.
So I totally agree. On the other side as well, I've learned to maybe not getting the equipment, but getting people to help out. Started stretching myself so much, especially with the fact that I still have a 9 to 5. So maybe I'll elaborate on that later on.
In my instance, I actually don't know much about the camera itself. I mean, I know enough, but on set I don't hold the camera because I'm not studied in the camera. So when we do, say we get a client and we want to do a job, whatever it is, the cinematographer that I get on the job, she or he will tell me what we'll need. So I'll sit down with her and she'll go, okay, we're going to need this sort of camera, we're going to need this sort of lights, what. And then she gives me the list. And then I go ahead. Because technically there are people, I think, there are going to be people who know more than you, and it's always best to have them on board.
That's true.
So, with me, it's especially because I am not particularly studied in cinematography and camera, that I'll always go to a cine and say, tell me what you need, and we'll get it. And then we'll go and get it and go do the job.
Nice. So then, when it comes to your first hires or like your first contacts or your first contracts, how did you make those first hires and your first contracts? And having other people join in on the bigger projects. So like you said, that you would actually have other people coming to help you out. So how do you go about that, and how do you then plan the cash flow to make sure that they are always paid?
That's a good one. So in my, it's crazy how I started really. So in my first like big contract, actually I just volunteered to do something for free for someone. Really. I always believe in offering yourself.
Yes.
To some extent.
To an extent, not forever.
Yeah, not forever. So the person loved my job, and my first gig was a wedding actually. And then I was like, wow, I only have one camera. How am I going to shoot this wedding? So I was like, luckily I had friends as well that were doing photography. So I was like, okay. I asked one of my friends, can you just help me out? I'll give you this card. And I managed to get like 3 people. And we managed to cover the wedding. It was perfect. And initially, that's how I got the concept for my business, actually. That I don't have to be there. So what I do, if I get a gig, I can't make it. I ask the photographer, what is your rate?
Yeah.
You give me your rate, I add markup to it. I charge the customer. So that way, the photographer still represents me, my business.
Yes.
But they go there.
And do.
Yeah.
Because you got a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to ask. So when you did the wedding, because you said for the first major project, you guys didn't get paid.
Oh, we got paid. So the clients that I got from the wedding, I did some free work for her prior to,
but on your own.
Yeah, on my
Okay.
own. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's funny. It's almost exactly how it happened for me in terms of like actually finding that that sort of space where you go, oh, I can't do everything, you know, because there are some jobs where you are gonna have to, you know, do like a lot and go in on your own, and like you said, like some free jobs that you're actually gonna have to take on, take a hit so that you can take, I guess, a good leap forward.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting people on board, it's always important, like you said, to ask them what they expect.
Sure.
Because you want to be able to take care of people
Yeah.
so that they'll want to come back and work with you. You know, obviously when you start, you know, in the early phases, you can't necessarily offer them the world. You know, I think my first few jobs, I needed someone on board, and I told her, okay, here's what I'm going to offer you now, but trust me, like, you know, once we keep going and it's bigger jobs, you'll still be the person I'll call. So trying to make people that, I guess, the promise and keeping those promises is what's important, because your relationships with them need to be like spot on. They need to be so tight, because those are people who are going to carry you. But yeah, always try and ask them what they want, negotiate with them, but don't rob them, because they're going to be the people who keep you afloat. There's some jobs, like you said, like, not even that I can't be there, but I don't want to be the one holding the camera. We did an event now for it was for Swatch. It was Swatch Mercedes sort of collaboration. And what I did, I said, you know what, I'm going to get a photographer to come in, even though they asked me, you know, I can do it. But I thought, you know, let me get a photographer in, I'll pay him, and I'll just walk around meeting people instead of running around with a camera.
Nice.
Because you know, it might be better for me to do that, you know, so that, you know, I can make these connections and say, yeah, this is what we do, what, and he's getting the job done.
Yeah, he's getting the job done while you are networking.
Yeah.
I like that. I really, really like that. So then, in your view, how do you eventually grow a freelance? I know you don't like the word freelance, but a freelance business to a point where you're always having clients, cash in the bank, and a larger team, or a team that you can always count on to, you know, I'm calling this photographer to come in to do 1, 2, and 3. So how do you know you are now, it's now firstly time to grow, and how do you then eventually grow to become that kind of business?
Simply retainer contracts. A lot of people don't want to sign retainer contracts. A lot of companies don't want to sign because obviously, you know, they just have policies against them and this and that. But what you need to do is try and find a client who you've been doing jobs for. Maybe you've done 2 or 3 jobs in 6 months, and go and pitch to them the idea that maybe having a retainer where they, you know, pay you a certain amount a month and you do a certain amount of videos might be the best way to go. Because with retainer contracts, it's actually it's beneficial for both parties. You know, this is the sort of thing you'll need to sell to them though, because a lot of people, when you say to them, hey, why don't you pay me every month and then I'll do videos every month, they're like, well, I don't want to pay you every month. But what you can do is make that payment sort of less than your original quote would be. Reduce that a little bit so that you can go, look, I'll reduce it by 20%. And you'll probably get a little bit more content than you would normally, and try sign them on to a retainer contract where they take care of you every single month. Once you do that, that's the next step into actually becoming legit.
Okay, I like that retainer contract. And Jeremiah, I see
I'm just thinking like I agree with what Christian has said. I think for me also there's one thing that I've always kept in mind is that sometimes, I know quality is what is required. I think sometimes it's just the experience that you give people, really, what you're doing your job. That it helps you and the customers just to expose you to further customers. You can provide the best quality ever, but if the experience they had with you wasn't a great experience, I think that just kills you. In a way. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You want to come up with something?
No, yeah. So I just wanted to add, in terms of, having, the experiences with these people, it's always important that you also don't shy away from certain things. If you have a business, so for example, I started my company and went, I want to do video marketing, advertisements, and that's the passion. Video marketing ads where you have really nice, crazy ideas and you go ahead and shoot. But don't shy away from other things in the same sort of space. So if somebody asks you, for example, now we've been contracted to do a menu for a restaurant.
Okay.
Someone asked me that I did a video for. He's like, do you guys do menus? And my answer was yes, even though I've never designed anything in my life. But the important thing is that I can, always hire someone, bring someone in, and have them do it so that, again, you make sure you always have, like you said, how do you make sure you always have clients and income? Take all the jobs you can, especially when you're starting out, because, there's nothing you can say no to. No is, you can't say no to a lot of stuff. We've done websites, we've done menus, we've done stuff where I know nothing about, but the company can do it. Do you know what I mean?
Because you can bring people in.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's been the common theme, I think, with this season, with each and every one of the episodes that we've had and the guests that we've had, is that relationship is a huge thing. Having a relationship with the clients, obviously quality, but also just taking up opportunities that, you know that they are actually going to bring you even more clients. So I really, really like that. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. Oh, no. But it's okay. Thank you so much for coming through the studio with us and just sharing what you guys, what your journey has been with, finances in your business and even in your personal lifestyle. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So thank you also for listening in onto this episode. Thank you. We really are very appreciative of it. We really are learning so many things. And I hope as a freelancer, you also really are taking some things that has been spoken here and you're also putting that into your own business. Do remember that we do have a free workshop that will be coming up. We'll have all the details on the description box. Make sure that you sign up for that so that you can actually get your own personal workshop on how you can grow your business. But for now, thank you so much for joining us once again. My name is Moya and I am out.
0 to 3. From 0 to 4.